So, you saw the thumbnail. I have a problem with aspect ratio, and specifically, I personally have a problem with all the stretched, skewed, improperly fitted images and videos that people are showing on these old TVs. I really appreciate that people are getting into this old stuff and they're looking for ways to use it in a modern fashion, hooking it up to laptops and Chromecasts and Fire Sticks and Rokus and everything. But the problem is the conversion method. This, or something like it, because they're pretty much all the same, is the method of choice, it seems. You put HDMI in one side, and you get composite video on the other side. They still call it an upscaler, which is not right, but okay, I'll let that slide. Anyway, that's the method that everyone uses. But the problem is, whatever you feed it just gets stretched or squished to fit the video output. So as you see here, I'm mirroring my screen there to there. This is a 16:9 widescreen image, and this is a 4:3 TV screen. You'll notice it is overscanning, which I didn't notice before, and I don't know if that's the upscaler or if that's the HDMI output. That's another complaint I have. You should never be overscanning with HDMI. It's a pixel to pixel signal, like it's a digital signal. If you're sending a 1080p signal to a 1080p display, each pixel is being individually addressed. When you stretch it, now you have to do interpolation and all this crap. TV manufacturers, like, fix your shit. Anyway, back to aspect ratio. I have a problem with this. But I've read that there is one of these, I'm going to call it a downscaler. It's not an upscaler. One of these converter boxes that does allow you to address aspect ratio. And against my better judgment, I bought one. I've seen these everywhere. These will convert HDMI, okay, yeah, to a standard NTSC or PAL analog video signal, standard def, okay. But they go directly from HDMI to RF. So, not really my jam. I ordered the one with the Bellingly connector because it's cheaper. So I'll have to grab a converter. One moment, please. You know, it was actually cheaper to buy a whole antenna that came with a converting adapter than it was to just buy the adapter. So now I have that. I have the opposite direction, and I have a 3.5 to F connector. So that's nice. So I need this one, right? I don't know these foreign connectors. Nope, that's the wrong one. I need that one. Plug this in. That is nice. That is nice. Why did we use the F connector? That's like RCA for your RF. Now before I jump into that, because I know people are yelling and screaming, yes, you can set the aspect ratio, or I guess set the resolution to a 4:3 resolution. It's 1152 by 864, 4:3. No, 1280 by 1024 isn't. I think 1280 by 960 is. Let's just do 1024 by 768. That's a guarantee. Keep. Oh my God, no, it doesn't. What? I was told that if you give this a 4:3 resolution, it honors it. What the crap? Oh. Right. What? Okay. I guess it also powers off of HDMI. Okay, I just wanted to reset it to see if maybe it'll come to its senses. No. Okay. So this is actually worse than I thought. Again, these are... Who knows what's inside this? It's the same outside casing. It could have anything inside it. There's probably different versions of this, but the problem still stands. This is an issue. So now, if I go and I have some 4:3 content here.
Word for 2 weeks straight.
The word is zucchini.
Whoever thought it was something you hate.
So, it's It's a problem, see?
Do it for real with a 4-in-1 Master Workshop Jigsaw. Lay it.
This is 4x3 and it's being squished. And I was going to show that it looked proper when I set this to 4x3 aspect ratio. Oh, what am I doing? But apparently that's not even the case. This is worse than I thought. Okay, let's get this hooked up and see what this does. Those cheap bastards didn't even include a battery. And all I have is a CR 2032, and this one's at 2025. I think it'll work. Hopefully that comes out when it needs to. Okay, mode. Oh yeah, I gotta tune it. So clearly it's set to PAL, I guess, or European mode. Nope. Ah, go up. Batteries must be dead. So a system. Oh, there we go. It's really dim. 61.25 megahertz. Now this TV isn't really channelized. It's just a continuous tuner, but dang, my dead batteries. It's around. Oh, go back. It's around channel 3-ish. Who cares? So, but take a look. Other than the slight overscan, it actually looks pretty good. Not like text readable good, but I mean, looks okay. So what modes do we have? Soft. Oh, there we go. That explains the, was that kind of a dark looking mode. Looks brighter on the camera. It's actually quite dark in person. Zoom. Just keeps zooming in. Whoa. Okay. That's kind of nice. You can actually get rid of your overscan if you want to. See, this is about perfect here. This is what I would expect on that. Menu. Oh man, they give you all sorts of stuff. That's normal. What? Oh! It'll like zoom into corners? Yeah. Mostly sunny. Cool. Okay, anyway, that's not what this is about. Let's try the video. Okay, so starting out with a, close this here, 16:9 aspect ratio, it is squishing it. So it's doing the same thing that the other adapter did. Now let's go to a 4x3, 1024, keep changes. Still, like, what the fuck, guys? Okay, so I feel pretty crushed that I bought this thing thinking it would do what I want it to. Like, flat screen TVs have a little button that you can go and say stretch, overscan, and any sort of mix in between. I just want that on this, because all of these seem to be made assuming that the device downstream can convert it. Also, the color is really off. Is that... Did I have the hue messed with on there? Oh, I did. Okay. There we go. So, huge disappointment. But this does have one thing up its sleeve. And that's I can just crank this horizontal size.
Let's work hard for good marks. Really? Let's go! Excellent mark!
Nostalgia.
Ready? Square series.
Actually, these old captures look pretty damn good on an actual CRT. You watch them on, big high-def screen, you see all the imperfections of an old VHS EP recording found in someone's basement, which is what this is. Anyway, what I want to do, and the whole point of this project, is I want to see if I can extract a composite video signal from this. because I don't really need the RF modulator part. I just want an HDMI to composite video converter that allows me to mess with settings and to scale it correctly. In this case, I want it to, let's see here. If I put this back to 16 by 9, which I already have open, if I put it back to 16 by 9, what I want is I want this to be cropped. So when I go and I play a video that is 4 by 3, it does that. And that's good enough for me. The reasoning is I will hook up a Chromecast, I will hook up any sort of number of sort of streaming devices, and those don't allow you to set the aspect ratio on the output. Also, apparently, even if you do, these newer ones don't even care. That was a shocker to me. Anyway, let's open this up and see what's inside. Okay, inside we have, let's get some light on it, an HD165B chip, which I'm assuming is doing the conversion. This is something to do with the HDMI, and this is something else. But you'll notice that this section here with the RF is separate. It's completely separate. And there's some little traces going between them. One of those is probably going to carry my video signal that I want. Also, the other is probably audio. Just for reference, I want to show the difference in sharpness and quality going from composite to the RF output on this. So I've got this connected with no video signal and this connected with no video signal. This is bright, this is vibrant on the AV in. That is washed out and muddied. RF can look better than this. It is very much more capable than this. But this has a shit RF output. So here's what we're looking for. A nice NTSC signal. There's your color burst, and here's all your color bars. Oh wait, I don't have it plugged in here. Pretend there's color bars here. That's what the video signal looks like. And there it is. Focus. To look over my phone here. That looks like a little video signal. It's kind of weak. I don't have the hands to make that bigger. Hold on one second. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. So what I need to do is get in here. Now this is going to probably have a end of line 75 ohm terminating resistor for the output on here. So I will have to find a way to disconnect this when I plug in something external, if I want to keep this. Otherwise I could just, remove that resistor entirely. So check this out. I have my little probulator here, and if I go and stick this on there, I get a video signal. Oh man, the colors are not syncing on this camera. I can assure you the green is not so horrible. It's not great either. Now, this is the RF output. Watch what happens when I connect my little composite lead in here. Oh yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm messing with the impedance. Okay, this is absolutely wild. This tiny little resistor, you see I kind of moved it out of the way. This is the ground plane, and this is the video signal coming from this chip to go over to the RF chip. This was measuring 50 ohms ground to video. I was like, that's weird. I'm pretty sure composite video is typically over a 75 ohm impedance. So I removed that and measured it out of circuit. It's 150 ohm. And now I'm measuring 75 ohm from this trace to ground. And the picture is so much brighter. Very hard to tell on camera, but this is a million times better. If I had more hands, I would, jumper this back in to show you, but it noticeably dims. So what is that? What is that resistor for? What is that doing? That's useless. What I'm thinking of doing now is getting a knife and cutting this trace, and then scraping the solder off and putting a little toggle switch so I can switch between here and here, right? Put a little RCA jack there. That looks so much better. It's brighter, it's crisper. I was able to turn the brightness settings on this back to normal. For what it is right now, which is a cheap AliExpress device outputting on RF, it actually looks a lot better in person than it does on the camera. And I think it's because we're only getting one field the way the camera is syncing. This looks a lot sharper and easier to read. Like I can read that says iRobot, but I can't, an Alan Parsons project, iRobot. Can't read that on the camera, so this is definitely not as clear on the camera. Anyway, that's a side tangent. What the heck was that resistor for? It doesn't make any sense why it would be there if I now have a nice 75 ohm to ground. So the signal path is now 75 ohm impedance matched, and it looks better. Now I just need to find where the audio is. Well, that was easy. Video, audio. Hey, someone who's smarter than me, please explain this. So I got back to probing this because I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be adding connections, oh, that's loud. I thought if I'm going to be connecting the audio to RCAs, it sure would be nice to get stereo. So maybe I can find where it traces back. Maybe. So I started probing again, and I started here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm feeding it to the TV, right? But there's no power. So, let me probe here. I'm wondering if this is powered off of the HDMI and only this needs the external power. Because similar to this was running off the HDMI power. No, it's just the audio. But this generates a video signal when there's no video here. So it can't be powered off HDMI. But it can also be powered off of this. I don't know. I just find it weird that I can find analog audio there when I don't have power connected. But yeah, someone explain to me what's going on with that. I'm just gonna trudge along here. Okay, I figured it out. Delete your comment. The audio is actually coming out of this little chip here. So the audio, and maybe this pulls something from the video before it goes to this main controller that I assume has all the menu controls and can set everything else. Or maybe this just extracts the audio, I don't know. But here is your audio chip, and these two resistors here are from the left and right channel, and they short together, go through this trace, this via underneath here, and over to there. So the question is, if I remove these two resistors, I can get stereo audio. But now I need a way to be able to switch back to here. How destructively do I want to do this? I have discovered a terrible flaw with this. What I thought were two capacitors coming from two distinct audio channels and then going into two resistors that short at the end, so you're not shorting the direct output before it modularizes and then goes over to here. That was not the case at all, and I will show you with this. Okay, yeah, left head audio. It's only the left channel. I couldn't get stereo out of this if I wanted to. Oh my god. Man, like, why? Wow, I really just kind of phoned it home on that ground. Realized I wasn't able to solder this directly down there, so time for some strain relief. I didn't think this through, so I can't heat shrink that, so electrical tape, and then we'll see if this monstrosity works. All right, here's the final product. Here's my toggle switch that goes between RF on this side and the outputs on here. I'm going to add another strain relief tie wrap so I can't push this in because I have a feeling that could damage this as well. There's a little toggle switch added on the back, as you can see, and then there's these two. It's just mono because I learned that this is just mono. It's just one channel, in fact. What did I say? It was the left channel? Ah, stupid. Anyway, I cut the trace here. So the trace coming from this chip, I removed this little 50 ohm to ground resistor that seemed to make the video signal all shit. And that goes to the center of this switch. And then on this side, when I have it towards RF, it goes to this trace that I cut. So the RF still functions. And then on this side, see, it goes to there. Then this is the audio. And this is a janky little ground I put in there. I feel it really ties the room together. So let's take a look. All right, so it's not bad. My TV is starting to get a little pin cushiony. I think I need to look at some caps. But anyway, you know, pictures, it's okay. It's not amazing, nothing to write home about. So let's flip the switch and go to the video line in. Good Lord. Look at, focus, you freaking thing. Look at how legible that is. This looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the audio is on both. Sounds a lot clearer on here than the modulator. But, I mean, that's to be expected. This is just a cheap as shit RF modulator. So, gonna get myself dinged. All right, I'm running a test image on here. You'll notice it's 4:3, and you'll notice it fills the screen almost completely. It's perfect. This is on the AV input. Let me switch to RF and flip my switch. So you'll see on RF, of course, there's all these color artifact banding things, right? That's kind of what you'd expect. You go to Composite. Gorgeous, clear, crisp. This actually looks pretty freaking good. I cannot get this camera to show how good it actually looks. Oh, maybe I can there. It looks fantastic. And I have a nice 4:3 image. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together. But yeah, I will consider this a success. I'll upload some photos of exactly where I scraped the traces and stuff like that if anyone else wants to follow and make this mod. But yeah, please, for the love of everything, don't be watching your videos with the wrong aspect ratio on these old TVs. Find a way. Before this, what I used to do is I used to re-encode videos and stretch them into 16:9. So when I'd play them back on the Chromecast, they would get shrunk back in and look proper for 4:3. But you can't do that with YouTube videos and TV shows you're streaming off streaming services. Little surprised that you only get the left channel of audio from that HDMI. I looked at this closer and there is two distinct traces coming off this chip. They both go to capacitors and then resistors before they tie together. So for all intents and purposes, that should be the left and right channel going through a coupling capacitor. And then they each go through probably like a 10K resistor before being tied together to go mono into this RF modulator. Why they're both outputting the left audio is weird to me. I don't understand, but I was listening to some kind of 70s prog rock streaming on there, and yeah, sure enough, you only get one channel. It sounds horrible. That's just a design flaw with these cheap devices. There's nothing I can do about that. But being able to get the video output on there, it's fantastic. Like, it genuinely does exactly what I want it to do, which is if I want to stream old stuff off of YouTube or files, and it looks quite clean.
Top sirloin steak, just $3.99.
considering that this was digitized probably off an old videotape and then uploaded to YouTube with YouTube's compression, and then it's now playing back digitally and then going through more conversion stages to bring it back to NTSC. It looks better in person. It still kind of looks like crap on the camera, but trust me, this is great. The text is easy to see. It's very crisp, legible. This is 1024 by 768 as a resolution, so that's excellent. I hope you guys found this useful in some way. I'll put some pictures, some up-close detail at the end of this video if anyone's interested in trying this as well. Yeah, for fun, I decided to put this antenna on the output. It says transmitter, so let's see how well it works as a transmitter. And not that well, but I mean, that's to be expected if this thing were to be, you know, legal to use in Canada and the US. This is really about as strong as you want it. Even that's a little bit strong, to be honest, but yeah, it's strong enough that I guess it will give a nice clear signal. Like, it won't be weak like some modulators are, but you really shouldn't be doing this. Don't do that. This is not allowed. Anyway, bye.